Welcome to our deep dive into the quadrillion debt that threatens every American paycheck, a figure far larger than most realize. As of Queen Tufu, the US Treasury reports a gross federal debt of $38 trillion, a staggering amount on the nation's balance sheet. That debt carries a billion in yearly interest, equal to 1% of all US household disposable income. At the median $22.10 hourly wage, UD need an extra 119 hours, almost 3 full weeks to cover a single year of government interest. The antagonists are clear: a Treasury that issues bonds, a Fed that buys them, and a lobbying industry earning $1 billion from Wall Street banks each year. Since 2008, quantitative easing has expanded the Fed's balance sheet from $0 a trillion to $9 a trillion, now holding over 2% of Treasury securities. The Treasury issues debt, the Fed buys it, keeping rates low and allowing the public sector to borrow at record-cheap costs. BlackRock manages $1 trillion in US Treasury holdings, earning an average 1% yield, about $1 billion in profit each year. Meanwhile, the typical household carries $7,500 in credit card debt at an 80% APR, a cost indirectly subsidized by cheap Treasury rates. Politicians have insulated themselves from the mounting debt by embracing perpetual bond buying, shielding their constituencies from immediate pain. Behavioral economics calls the public's short-term focus present bias, a discount factor of 0.78 for any outcome beyond 6 months. Media amplifies bias with headlines like $1,400 stimulus checks today, while omitting the $2 trillion debt they generate. Each borrowed dollar adds roughly 4 cents to the average worker's lifetime tax burden, a hidden cost of today's policies. The result is a herd mentality. Citizens vote for instant cash, unaware of the long-term financial fallout. All signs point to a debt explosion awaiting the next generation if corrective action is not taken now. Our promise: a forensic audit tracing every dollar of interest to the entities profiting from the debt machine. Future generations will inherit the weight of today's borrowing, while the privileged continue to reap the profits. Join us in demanding transparency and accountability before the quadrillion-time born detonates for everyone. Present bias drives voters to favor immediate stimulus checks, while the hidden cost adds billions to the national debt each year. Media headlines glorify cash handouts, yet they disguise the $2.3 trillion debt increase that fuels Wall Street lobbying power. Each borrowed dollar adds roughly 4 cents to the average worker's lifetime tax bill, a profit stream for firms like BlackRock managing trillions in Treasury bonds. The Treasury continuously issues new bonds, each one a promise that future taxpayers must honor, inflating the quadrillion debt total. The Fed purchases these bonds, keeping rates low and allowing the government to borrow cheaply while private borrowers face higher costs. Historical data shows debt-to-GDP ratios above GNP preceded the recessions of 1990, 2001, and 2008, warning of an imminent correction. 3 firms, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, control over $1 trillion of Treasury securities, funneling steady yields to shareholders. Interest payments of $1 billion each year spiral toward institutional investors, compounding the wealth extraction cycle. Across the nation, citizens are demanding transparency and policies that curb the relentless growth of the debt-time bomb. The quadrillion-time bomb ticks louder each day. Only decisive action can defuse the debt crisis before it erupts for future generations.